Welcome to Home Library Book Review Children Series, where we select a book right from the shelf and explain its content through easy to understand text, graphics, example, and animation, along with discussion with family members. Today, we will be doing part 3 of Great Stories for Children by Ruskin Bond. This book is a collection of classic children's stories. This book has entertaining and imaginative stories. All stories are simple and heartwarming. It has a Goodreads rating of 4.2 out of 5.
This book has many short stories, so we will be covering few in this video, and you can watch out part 1 and part 2 videos already uploaded on our channel. Stay tuned for part 4.
Let's begin with the first story, Wonky Trouble. Grandfather had a weakness for keeping unusual pets, so he bought Tutu, a little girl monkey. She shook hands with everyone who visited home. Winters in North India can be very cold. A great treat for Tutu on winter evenings was the large bowl of hot water given to her by grandfather for a bath. Once the water became cold, she would get out and run as quickly as she could to the kitchen fire in order to dry herself. One day, Aunt Ruby announced that she had become engaged to Rocky, a school teacher from Goa. On the day of the wedding, Tutu was locked up in the house while all guests made their way to the church. When the service was over, everyone made their way back to the house for reception. Tutu was on her best behavior. She greeted the guests with squeals of delight. Aunt Ruby was not happy to see Tutu, and she flew at Tutu in a rage. Tutu, sensing that she was not welcome, leapt away, taking with her the top tier of the wedding cake. She climbed to the top of the tree and proceeded to pelt guests with bits of wedding cake. When the festivities were finally over, Uncle Benji took the car to drop Aunt Ruby and Rocky to the nearby hill resort. The car shot forward in a cloud of dust. Rocky and Aunt Ruby continued to wave to us, unknowing to the fact that Tutu is on the perch of the rear bumper. Let's start with the second story, The Tunnel. It was almost noon and the jungle was very still and silent. Suraj stood waiting for midday train. It wasn't the station. He was waiting so that he could watch the steam engine come roaring out of the tunnel. He had heard in the distance the shrill whistle of the engine. A second or two later, the steam engine shot out of the tunnel. Instinctively, Suraj stepped back a few paces, and then the train had gone, leaving only a plume of smoke. Suraj began walking along the embankment towards the tunnel. The tunnel grew darker as he walked further into it. When he had gone 20 yards, it became pitch dark The tunnel was still full of smoke. Suraj had simply wanted to walk through. The walls were damp and sticky. A bat flew past. A lizard scuttled between the lines. About 50 feet from the entrance to the tunnel stood the watchman's hut. It was the watchman's duty to inspect the tunnel and keep it clear of obstacles. He was just settling down for an afternoon nap when he saw the boy emerge from the tunnel. "Welcome," the watchman said, and Suraj sat on the edge of the cot. "My name is Sundar Singh, and you can come here and sit with me if you like. There is one train during the day and another one during the night. And now I'm about to take a nap." And Suraj stood up and began walking back up to the village. The following evening, Sundar Singh was waiting for Suraj, and when he arrived, he made tea. As the brief twilight faded, Sundar Singh lit his oil lamp and went to inspect the tunnel. On his return to the hut, they both sat on the cot. A new sound reached both of them quite distinctly, as if someone was cutting through the branch of a tree. "It's the leopard, I think. It's in the tunnel, and if we don't drive the leopard out of the tunnel, it will be run over and killed. And this cannot happen." "But won't it attack us if we try to drive it out?" asked Suraj. "Not this leopard. It knows me well. We have seen each other many times. It has weakness for goats and stray dogs. But it won't harm us," said the. Raising his lamp, Sundar Singh advanced into the tunnel, sharp of his voice, to try and scare away the animal. They had gone just 20 paces into the tunnel when the light from the lamp fell upon the leopard. It was crouching between the tracks. Suraj and Sundar both shouted together. Their voices rang through the tunnel, and the leopard, uncertain as to how many terrifying humans were there in the tunnel with him, turned swiftly and disappeared into darkness. To make sure it had gone, they both walked the length of the tunnel. When they returned to the entrance, the rails were beginning to hum. They knew the train was coming. And then the engine came round the bend, hissing at them, thundering past Suraj like the beautiful dragon of his dreams. And they trembled to the passing of the same train, almost after a week later, when Suraj and his father were both travelling in it. Suraj heard the rumble as the train passed over a small bridge, and he knew they must be approaching the tunnel. He could not see Sundar Singh, but he saw the lamp and knew his friend was out there. The train went into the tunnel and out again, and Suraj stared out at the darkness, thinking of the watchman with the lamp, who always remained a firefly for those traveling thousands, as he lit up the darkness for steam engines and leopards.
Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe. Also press on the bell notification button for more videos like these. Until next time, take care and bye.